Please help me welcome Phyllis Goldberg.
Well, thank you to the new guest. I'm really surprised that I volunteered because I was scared. And I said, when I did Toastmasters, I brought my friend. She says, what kind of craziness is this? They're going to time you? Are you in like college? So I said, okay. And I actually volunteered. It's like my 4th time. And I volunteered because I want to get it over with. And so I thought, do I want to do my dog? Are you timing me? Okay, do I want to do my dog or do I want to do my mother? And so my mother passed away from Alzheimer's and I brought pictures of her. I'm sorry, I just want to hand out pictures so everybody can see a little bit what she looked like. What she looked like. Okay? Take a look. It was my friend said, what are you doing? That's crazy. You're going to show people the. I said, look, this is the best picture of her. So. Yeah. So I figured, I'm sorry if you could just like. So because it's hard to talk unless you know the person what these look like. Yeah. So I went to Walgreens and got pictures. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So I picked my mother because I figured I'll have more to say about my mother than my dog, you know, but even though I love my dog. Okay. So the people that become caretakers when a spouse passes away and the husband or wife is alone is usually the daughter or the son. And my grandmother had Alzheimer's, so I knew maybe in the future it was going to be in my family or my mother was going to end up with Alzheimer's. And in 2022, 6.5 million people over 65 years old had Alzheimer's, and 73% of them over 73 had Alzheimer's. And I grew up in New York and decided that one day I'd probably move to Florida because I used to come here from when I was 5 to 21 years old. And so I decided that I would be thinking about it, but I'd have to get transferred with my job. And my parents used to work at the flea market together. My father worked nights. My mother took care of my sister, my brother, and I. But I was always closer. My sister and brother were older, and I was close with my mother, and I went a lot of places with them. And so my father worked nights, so I helped my mother with a lot of things. My mother was waiting for me to get married, and they always said to me, we're waiting for you. I said, oh, you want to go to Florida? Move to Florida. They said, but we're waiting for you to get married. We don't want to leave till you find somebody. So finally, my father retired, and they decided in 1991 to move to Florida. And of course, I came here like once a year so I'd be able to see them. But a year later, I got a transfer with my company, and I decided that I would be moving down here also. So I lived 3 miles away from my parents. But for some reason, even though I was here, and my sister was in Fort Myers 2 hours away, I was the one who spent a lot of time with them. I was there all the time. So in 2001, my father passed away. And my mother, I never knew their relationship was so strong. They went everywhere together. And I found that out, of course, after my father passed away. First, I spent 6 months trying to sue the hospital, which was impossible. So I dragged my mother for 6 months to every attorney I could find, to no avail. And then my mother, 2 days after my father died, I need to go to Macy's. So every day, we were the Macy's, the thrift store, the Goodwill. We went shopping, and I sell jewelry, so I took her to all my shows. And 2 years after my father died, I decided to get long-term care and found out that she had a memory problem. And I said, oh no, because I knew that when I go out and I come home 4 o'clock in the morning, I have no responsibility to myself. And I knew as the time was going by that I'd have to spend more time with her. So I took her to shopping. We went out to eat 7 nights a week. Took her to eating, and it came to the point that she needed me dressing her and I would take care of her medicine. She would start screaming at me and yelling at me and try and punch me, and then she'd try to punch herself. And constantly I'm calling 911 because she's always falling. My friend said to me, "What's going on with you? We don't see you anymore. You don't go out anymore. Let's go to the disco." And I just devoted my whole life. And I started a business in 95. And the business just went, I absolutely could not even work. I had to be with her all the time. So I took her to the jewelry show. She ended up stealing jewelry from the vendors. Now this is the funniest thing, even though it's not funny. I paid her bills. There was a cable bill for $350. And I looked at it, there were tons of X-rated movies. They were all, yeah. I know she liked it even before she had Alzheimer's. But she had X-rated movies, and it was $350. And I called Comcast, and they actually took it all off, right? Her bill was supposed to be like $100 or $80. Also, I took her to a swap shop, and she disappeared. And the lady next door said, "What did you do? You let your mother go?" And we went through the whole security, we had to go the whole thing. One day, she threatened to go to Publix. She went to Publix, and I went over to the house, she was gone, and she never even drove. An hour or two, I'm waiting for her, and I was scared to death, and I didn't know what was gonna happen with her, which I could have really lost her before the swap shop. She came home, she crossed Oakland Park, she walked 1 mile with her shopping cart. It was really getting serious, because one day, you never know if they walk out of the house and they never come back. And I thought, when I was at this swap shop, I thought that's what was gonna happen. So, we decided, enough falling, enough going to the hospital, we're going to go take her to an assisted living. But my life just did not change. At the assisted living, I was there every single day, 8 hours, 9 hours, feeding her, giving her medicine. They put her on Vitas for 3 months, and she ended up passing away from an allergic reaction from not getting proper care. And that was it. And I have her cats, 16 years old, I still have her cat, and when they hug me, they're actually hugging. I'm actually hugging her.